It's an all-new Nerds to Men on films, which
Yes,
Cameo hates.
Hated it.
And me and Cameo, I'm Brad Reed. We're here to discuss Creed 3.
2.
Creed 2. 1. Creed. Yes. We're here to discuss Creed 3, the third Creed movie, obviously, in this trilogy. Starring
Killmonger versus Kang.
Yeah, basically. Michael B. Jordan comes back as Adonis Creed. We get Jonathan Majors as Diamond Dame. And this movie was a very, I thought it was a really good movie. It wasn't great, but I'd say it was really good. It made $100.3 million in the box office so far. Had a $75 million budget, so it's gone over what they spend on it, but I'm sure they're hoping to get even more, as the couple more weeks go by.
Yeah.
87% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.4, so that puts a 74% on IMDb. But I thought it was a really good movie, Cameo. There was a few things in it that I thought, okay, this is kind of your typical boxing movie, and then there was a few things that weren't. And I think that one of the biggest things that I want to kind of say right off the bat was this is the first of the movies that Michael B. Jordan, and I don't know, it might be his first ever, where he's directing this movie. Did you realize he was the director this time?
I thought he was the director on all of them.
No, on the first movie, Ryan Coogler.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The first director, and then the second one was Stephen. Oh, my handwriting sucks. Something Jr. So
Stephen something Jr.
Stephen something Jr. Stephen Cat. I don't know. You could look it up, but
yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah. So Ryan Coogler directed that first one.
Stephen Capel.
Yeah, and of course they went on. Was that before or after? That was before the first Black Panther, right? Creed 1.
I think so.
So he ends up doing that one, and him and Michael B. Jordan end up in the Marvel universe, and then Jonathan Majors does too, and now he's in Creed 3. So
yeah,
I think you had made this joke the other day that the acting pool might be a little small right now, and that we're getting a lot of spin-off projects on people waiting to get back into other Marvel movies.
Yeah. Because, it's funny because I haven't really seen a DC movie that has had, and I could be wrong, I just can't think of it off the top of my head, that has more than one or two or more, I should say, that was a hero / villain in the same movie. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Well, here you have a movie where, like I say, Michael B. Jordan is he's the basis of this franchise, playing Creed in the first and all three movies. Jonathan Major comes in, and I think it's a very not courageous or anything, but this is really cool that Michael B. Jordan brings in a guy to play his counterpart who can hold his own. Somebody might be tempted to bring in maybe an actor who's a little less than, who's not going to steal the spotlight as much, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he brings in Jonathan Majors, and boom, this makes the dynamic in the movie very believable. Because you're sitting there thinking, he might just get his ass whooped.
Right.
How's this movie going to play out? He might get his butt kicked in. And I loved it. I loved the whole backstory. The movie kind of shows us that Creed knew Diamond Dame back when they were younger. Dame was a little older, and he was already boxing. He was a Golden Gloves champ. And Adonis was kind of more of his, he was kind of learning the ropes through him, and he wasn't really his lackey, but you know what I mean. He was helping him out, doing stuff for him.
Right.
And then they get in some trouble. Dame goes down, goes to prison. Creed runs off. And you see what happens with him as his life goes on. He becomes very famous, very rich, very successful as a boxer. Mm-hmm. He marries Tessa Thompson, which that you made it. You know what I'm saying? You made it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Diamond Dame's in prison. Like, I want me some Tessa Thompson.
Right.
You know? But in the Creed verse, she's like a big superstar too. She's like a singer,
a pop star, yeah, producer.
But in this movie, we find them both kind of in a like they're further on in their careers now, and he's retired from boxing, and she is resting her voice and stuff because she has like does she have cancer?
No, she's going deaf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. She's going deaf. And so she's trying to save. She doesn't want to get up on stage and do live performances where it gets very loud. And so they're both kind of enjoying a step back in life now, I think. And I think in this movie, Creed is, he's cool with it. He's not like, I got to get back in there and fight, because he's part of this other gym now. He's promoting fights and doing his thing. He's making good money, I'm sure. Well, Damien
House made it look like he's doing good.
Yeah. Well, Damien gets out. He wants to get back into boxing. He thinks he can make it, and he asks for some help. And Creed is like, "No, that's not how it works. You got to work your way up. You can't just get a title shot."
Right.
Well, a few things kind of go awry, and we even find out a little later on, Dame pulls like a Nancy Kerrigan, and yeah, has.
What if that like backfired? What if he like got somebody else? I mean, I know it's the movie.
Yeah.
Like Michael B. Jordan, like, oh, you know what? We don't have somebody that's on your level, but
yeah. I see what you're saying.
Like, I mean, you fought other people in the other two movies.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously Drago was the other one, but he got injured. But who was the first one? Conlon, right? Pretty Ricky Conlon. But we saw that he took him down in the first 5-10 minutes of the movie.
Right.
But I know there's other heavyweight champions.
Yeah. That it was a little bit of a jump there to say that there was no other people that they could have lined up for that fight. And that it was a sure thing that if Dame had that guy taken out, that he would be the next in line. Like, that was very...
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But it works for the movie enough to set up the rest of the movie. Cameo, I thought that the performances by Jonathan Majors, again, this guy is just going to be one of those guys who blesses every character he takes on, and every movie that he's in. He holds his presence on screen. He plays characters where you can tell, like, let's just say Michael B. Jordan. I like him a lot, right? I like him a lot, but there are times where I feel like he's not playing much different characters from character to character. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I looked at him in Creed and then I looked at him as Killmonger, I don't see two totally different people. They are, but you know what I mean?
I see it, but I know where you're getting at. I know where you're getting at, though.
Yeah. Whereas with Jonathan Majors, every character I see him play, I see somebody different. I don't see Jonathan Majors
right
every time. So that's where I think he's a little bit on a different level than everybody else that he's in the movies with lately.
But then again, Jonathan Majors has, well, I think the first thing that I seen him in was The Five Bloods. And I don't know if that was like a big role for him or what, but I kind of feel like he hasn't been in enough things for us to actually, kind of say that about him. But I do think that he has a huge, huge range. I think, I think that he's probably going to be like, the next Denzel or the next. I mean, I know he's white, but Leonardo DiCaprio. I think
somebody who can inhabit a character,
right? And for Denzel, started when he was, I think, like in his 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Majors, I think he started not too long ago. So, in his 30s, but again, Denzel is a lot older, and so is Leonardo DiCaprio. And Leo started when he was a teenager. I think even younger.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like Jonathan Majors is a force to be reckoned with for sure.
I agree. But I do think, man, I felt like the character that he played in this, I felt like he wasn't like, he's a guy who uses his fists and is a tough guy, but he doesn't maybe use his mind as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like Jonathan Majors playing dumb a little bit. Like that, like it really showed me that he can act. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be, like, I always appreciate people who act in, like, say they play an actor in a movie and they act bad. Like, how do you acting bad? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
or something like that. Like, I think that's always a fun stretch for a character. You gotta act good acting bad.
Yeah.
But like Jonathan Majors, to play a character that's not like quite as bright as he is personally and do it well, I felt like was a good, and I'm not saying his character came off stupid, but like you said, like here he's got this plan where his buddy's gonna, and then hopefully no one's ever gonna see that he knows this guy, and it works because he ends up getting the shot, but there wouldn't have been a movie if it didn't work.
Well, and another thing, I'm just thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
If this was like an invitation only, how did his buddy get in and not be?
Yeah, because it was it was a record company party.
Yeah,
there's that too. You're right.
I know it's a movie.
Yeah, there's some holes in it. There's probably some holes in it.
And I'm not saying that took away from the movie. It's just that some of these things I think about later on, I'm like, that don't make any kind of sense.
Yeah.
But hey.
And I'm not trying to take away from Michael B. Jordan as an actor either.
Oh, no.
I just feel like Jonathan Majors right now is a better actor. And when you've got a guy who's the actor and the director, you've got like a kind of a weird dynamic there already. Because you're the star and the director. But then you bring in a guy, like I say, who's so talented and such a huge star right now as Jonathan Majors. Yeah, you might say, yes, that makes perfect sense because you want the best for your movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, kudos to Michael B. Jordan for not, being too egotistical to bring in a guy as talented.
Right.
Because Jonathan Majors could have outshined him a little bit, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
And he made it. He made this movie great because you do have a guy who you're not certain. You're not like other movies. You're like, okay, Creed's gonna win. He's the best. We already know this.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, you're kind of like, how's he gonna win? Because like he's been retired
for 3 years.
Yeah.
Hadn't fought, obviously dude stayed in shape.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man.
Now the movie had like the typical kind of lead up to a fight where it's the, showing all the different working out and stuff. And I kind of thought that went on a little bit long. they had like a little bit of a dust up after Creed finds out that what Dame had done to assert himself into the title fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course Dame beats up Creed's guy in the title fight. So now Creed's got to, but when they have like a confrontation on the beach, and then that's when they're like, okay, we'll fight each other. But I don't know, Cameo. If I had to do some criticizing here, I would have said I wish that they would have fought more a little bit before
outside the ring.
Either that or like had a fight before where Creed loses or something.
Yeah, kind of like what they did in Creed 2.
Yeah. Because this one, again, they do the whole montage, and then they have their fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fight itself was pretty dope because they did a few things that they haven't done in other movies, and I appreciated that. Like where, and it really focused on their backstory and their youth, but like where like everybody else goes away and it's just them fighting in the ring. I thought that was super dope.
Yeah, and that little tunnel vision they both got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. It kind of reminded me, I don't know, this some people might not have seen it, but Biker Boys. Have you ever seen that movie?
One?
Okay, well, I forgot who was in it, but I know one of the big names was Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh yeah, I love Lawrence Fishburne.
One of the guys, not to go too far off topic, one of the guys comes to find out is that Lawrence Fishburne is his father in the movie. The main character doesn't know that, but the way that they filmed some of the bike races were they had this tunnel vision, and Lawrence Fishburne was the big, not so much a villain. He was like the top dog in the bike racing community. And that's how he would win, because he would channel out everything else and go, straight to the finish line. And then, obviously he had some other type of training too, and yada, 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 yada. But that's what I liked about this one, because it kind of I really liked Biker Boys and that whole tunnel vision fight that they had, and everybody disappeared, and the scene kind of changed. Like they were behind bars, then they weren't. And they saw their younger selves. I kind of wish though that they had the younger selves fight.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not full out, but something like that. But I really did enjoy that part of the movie.
I did too, because again, there's not a lot of things to do differently in a boxing movie. Tessa Thompson's character wasn't your typical boxer's wife.
Mm-hmm.
She supports her husband. She doesn't mind him fighting. She knows he's good at it, if he's got to, like, whereas in other movies, it's kind of over the top of, and
I think as, her being an artist, and her not being able to do what she loves, because, Jonathan Majors made a comment. He was like, do you hate that somebody else is singing your song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, like, no, not really. But however she answered him, but that's kind of like, she supports him because, one, he can still kind of do it right now.
Yeah.
He's not super old.
No.
But it's like, if this is your passion, then go for it. And, and I'm not saying that you have to be an artist or you have to have something that you love to be supportive of your husband or your wife or anything like that. But I feel like they used her struggles with not being able to do her love and, channeled her love of what she does into supporting her husband.
Right.
In this movie. Right.
And like I was going to say, they even have the skit on Saturday Night Live, like during the nerd update, the news the Weekend Update where they have like the boxer's wife who's, I'm taking my kids to my sisters,
Yeah.
so it's like almost like stereotypical like in all the movies, but she played against that in this, in the Creed movies, and I enjoy that too. But I do wonder, what do you do from here? Because the spoiler alert, they have this huge fight. Creed wins, like you would think, and then they meet up.
Make up.
Yeah, they right after, and so it's like yeah, this was a good setup and everything with the personal aspect and the past and everything, but I felt like it didn't pay off as much as it could have. Like, what if Creed would have lost and then pushed this into Creed 4? You see what, you know what I mean? So that might be the only thing that I kind of course, Michael B. Jordan might not have the luxury where they're like, okay, we're going to do Creed 3, 4, and 5. So plan it out. He might have just had to do what he needed to do in this movie because there might not be another Creed. But I don't know. Were you sad? I say this is a really good movie. I give it that 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'd say that's pretty. I'd give it that. But I would say that it definitely had some opportunities to be better. But for it being Michael B. Jordan's first time directing, I'm pretty sure, I think he did a great job.
Oh, by all means, yeah. He did a wonderful job in this movie. I really liked it. I liked the soundtrack. It's been my my workout soundtrack for the past couple days. So I like that about it. I will say I do agree with you on the ending. Spoiler alert, if you didn't hear it. They made up at the end. I kind of feel like, Creed won. Great. He won this round. I feel like Jonathan Majors should have said, get out of my locker room and I'll catch you next time. And then that would have been it,
Yeah.
Then, he would have went off and, did his little thing with his daughter, but almost kind of like, kind of scared, not really scared, but on his toes, basically. Like, oh man, I beat him this time. What's going to happen? Or Jonathan Majors should have won, and then Jonathan Majors was very vindictive right after that. That would have led into number 4, 5, 6, whatever, however many movies they wanted to do, including those two characters. Because I feel like, Jonathan Majors was so angry in that movie.
Yeah.
That after getting his butt kicked, is like, nah, homie. Like you got this round, but you won this battle, but you haven't won the war yet.
Right.
So basically, like, have him get to the point where Michael B. Jordan loses everything and goes to jail. Maybe not everything, like his wife and daughter or anything like that, but get him to the brink of where he started from, nothing. And he was like, now you know how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I could be with
Michael
that.
B. Jordan, you did great. That was just my idea how it should have ended.
Only because it was like predictable, sort of, at that point.
It really was predictable. It was predictable throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. But so if they had mixed it up like that, then that would have helped with that. And then now to kind of go back and go against what we just said, I'm not condoning violence, but I know there's been times, and this has been true for lots of people, where you settle it and then that's it.
That's it.
It was over. They took their best shots. The best man won, and it felt like Jonathan Majors' character was okay with that.
And that so. I know a lot of people that probably watch our show or listen to our podcast. That's how we grew up. You fight somebody, If you lost, you lost. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, I'm coming back for you later. I'm gonna bust you upside your head with a tire iron or anything like that. It was like, hey, let's squash this right now. You think you so big and bad? Fight me, and we'll see who's big and bad. After that, much respect. Much respect after that. You might not have liked it.
It was a little different for me, though.
What was that?
It was a little, well, because I always had to stay strapped in case I had to rough up some punk that I roughed up from way back. Okay, that might have been Tupac. I don't remember. But no, but like I have, more so when I was young.
Yeah.
Like had like little rivalries. Then you get in your little fight, and then you're friends after.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So that's why I say that the ending it wasn't like totally unbelievable. That could have happened. I just think if we were going to craft maybe a more, kind of more interesting and not as predictable story, I would have gone with Creed losing or something. But even that's not totally unpredictable either, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been done.
Because honestly, I thought he was going to lose.
Yeah.
Because I was wanting another movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like in Creed 2, it was good. Don't get me wrong. Creed 2 was awesome.
Mm-hmm. It was really good.
I thought that the fight between Drago's son and Michael B. Jordan could have been drug out to 2 movies. Because obviously Michael B. Jordan lost that first round.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he loses or wins the continuation. I kind of feel like, maybe this movie should have did that, but maybe in reverse if they didn't want to follow the same deal as the first, or
right.
the second movie. But however it goes, like I kind of wish, like what you said too, is, maybe had a fight before, maybe an exhibition or something. And then Michael B. Jordan found out that Jonathan Majors planned this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they fight for real at the end. I don't know. I think there was so many things they could have done, but I think too, you have other people in the movie that you have to work around. And it wasn't just Michael B. Jordan coming back to a thing that he loves, or I should say Creed, coming back to a thing he loves. He was also dealing with family life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's so much things that you have to do, family, the whole family aspect of the storytelling, plus, the bad blood between friends, there's only so much you could do in a movie. And if there wasn't a thought of coming up with a 4th movie, then I understand that this movie itself had to be what it was.
Because it would have been cool, like you said, if like they had a fight where, because that's what they showed, like Diamond Dame. I said he's stupid. I'm not saying he's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He just, I don't know. I feel like Jonathan Majors played him like just a tad not as smart as, as whatever, as like Jonathan Majors probably really is. You know what I mean? Because this guy's more of a fighter. But like he did have like instances where he was studying his opponents, and when he found their weakness, it was checkmate and it was over. So like it would have been cool if like they had like their first fight where like a sanctioned fight where they go into it and Creed's thinking, okay, Jonathan Majors is my friend. He ain't going to do me dirty. We're going to have like a clean fight. But then Jonathan Majors does do him dirty, to take advantage of their friendship. And then boom, you know what I'm saying? Then it's on like, which is kind of what happened, but it was not, because Creed and him didn't fight first, but he does, Creed did find out that, he was doing dirty things, and to him, but I don't know. I felt like I wish they would have had another fight before the last fight. That's my only thing.
Yeah. And there was another issue that I just thought of. Again, this does not take away anything from the movie. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't mind spoilers, and we're spoiling it for you, cool. But there was one thing I didn't like, is that the first fight, between, or the first fight of the movie, Michael B. Jordan looks at his trainer and says, "Checkmate."
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's new. Okay. Then we go flashback to where Dame says checkmate.
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't like that because it didn't really pay. That's something that didn't really need to happen.
Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't saying that in the other two movies to where you're like, oh, that's where that came from.
And his fighting style, changed in the third movie. And I say it changed because we didn't have that tunnel vision. We didn't see that Michael B. Jordan was looking for that weak spot like Dame did when he was an amateur fighter. So it's kind of like, I mean, I guess they had to add some things, but it was like that kind of took away from the movie in the fact that it wasn't a continuation. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm making up words today.
Yeah.
A continuation of the previous two movies.
Like where they were planting the seeds earlier or anything.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I got you. Like now it's just,
but I mean, I guess
some
you
of
could
this
chalk it
stuff's
up
just
to,
popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you could chalk it up to like, oh, well, he's a seasoned fighter now. That was his, I don't know, whatever, excuse you want to use or idea you want to use. I just feel like this, I mean, maybe it would have happened if there was more than one, or maybe this would have happened if there was only one director / writer to see the whole vision out. But again, if you don't plan on making other movies, then I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Do you think we'll get more Creed movies after this?
I hope so, but I doubt it.
You think this could have been the wrapping up of everything? Maybe, yeah. And then that would make more sense why they didn't try to set this up into two movies. But still, I think that would have been the better way to go. So
yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think I agree with the 87. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 90.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 90.
Okay. All right. Well.
Sticking with Creed 3 still, you can get him on Fortnite now.
Oh, really? That's cool.
You can get Adonis Creed. Yeah. He has his little boxing gloves. Now, he doesn't like really box anything because you can like harvest stuff or whatever you call it, break things down. That would have been cool, but you don't get to do that though.
You know what I say about Fortnite?
Pretty cool skin though. What?
Hated it. Just because I suck at it. But that's cool. Had to check that out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Nerds to Men on Films this week, Cameo. The first.
Go see the movie.
Yeah. The first one on season 7 of Nerds to Men. So I'd give our show an 87.
Say 87 and a half. Whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think, you're the Creed and I'm the Jonathan Majors, kind of just outshining you just a little. Just a little bit better of an actor. So,
just a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe. That way you get...
let us know how you like the movie.
Yeah, we want to know what you thought about the movie, what you thought about our critiques here. Mm-hmm. And let us know. And let us know what other movies you want us to review. I'm not sure what our next one would be, Cameo. I got to look up some of the releases.
Okay.
I don't know. We might have to watch The Whale soon and review it.
Yeah, I do want to watch that. I will say Shazam comes out in a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely going
to 11 days. So
March is getting, we're getting a bunch of stuff. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll definitely be back with that one though, for sure. All right. Well, stay tuned because we'll have Nerdflix and Chill coming out in a couple of days and we'll talk about Mandalorian season 3, episode 1, and the last couple episodes of Last of Us before we get to the season finale.
Hate it.